everybody, and welcome back to my podcast. This is Anne of Fiber, Floss, and Fiction, a podcast in which I talk about some crafty things, including knitting and hand spinning and cross stitch, and then books that I've been reading. Today is Tuesday, May 7th. I'm a whole month off. Kind of a different day for me to record, but I realized when I looked at my calendar that if I didn't sneak in a slightly truncated podcast that it was going to be probably close to 4 weeks before I talked to you guys again, and I thought that was going to be just way too much. So today's podcast will be a little bit different because I don't have a ton of things to talk about, so I'm going to try to keep it down to a dull roar. Maybe some washed out colors today. We have a lot of gray skies here, which is not very usual for us in New Mexico. Actually saying maybe up the hill they're going to get some more snow over the next few days. It's definitely cooler here today than it has been, and without the sun, it's a little chilly feeling. So I'm going to have some hot tea with lunch, I think. Anyway, everything here otherwise is good. If you follow me elsewhere or have watched my podcast before, you know that I'm headed off on holiday shortly. I should say, if you are a new viewer, welcome. I always forget this. If you're a new viewer, welcome. I hope that you find some things that you enjoy here to watch and listen to. And if you're a returning viewer, as always, thank you for coming back and welcome back. Headed off to a week in Scotland shortly. I'm in the throes of packing, so gonna try to make this pretty straightforward and relatively brief. Let's jump on into knitting. I completely forgot to talk about a giveaway that I have for 2 lucky viewers in my last podcast, and this is a print copy of the Nomadic Knits issue 3, which is projects themed on Arizona and New Mexico. This is a really fun collection. I have a pair of socks in here, which I have shown you guys before. I think the Sabino socks, and they are knit with my Rhiannon sock. The one thing that's really nice about this pattern book is there's actually some essays and some recipes and some other things in it that are really fun. So it's not just the knitting patterns, although those are also really great. So I have 2 print copies to give away. I will ship anywhere in the US. I'm sorry, overseas folks, I know, but it would cost me like $22 to ship this overseas, and no. I love y'all, but at some point, that's ridiculous. So US viewers only. Please leave me a comment below telling me what is your favorite thing about the southwestern portion of the United States. If you're not sure what is your favorite part because you're not don't know very much about the area, please tell me some place that you would like to visit in New Mexico or Arizona. So pretty easy questions. I will have 2 of these copies to give away. I will leave the giveaway open through Memorial Day here in the States, which is May 31st. So you've got 3 weeks to see the video and put your response down below in the comments. If you are chosen by random number generator to win a copy of this, I will contact you via the comments to get your shipping address. So fun little book. I'd love to give it away to a couple of people so that you can enjoy it as well. Next up, I guess I should say, I have finished one of the Vintage Fairy Lights socks. I didn't bother bringing it with me because it was just the toe. It was literally like 8 rounds of toe shaping. So I will bring those back when I have the pair finished, which I'm hoping to do on my travels. I'm about halfway through a secret knitting project, also something I hope to finish on my travels. So not really any substantive knitting to show you guys. I did want to share with you the installment that I received from the Sincere Sheep Made Here Yarn Club. If you have watched me before, you know how much I love Brooks yarns. They are all US grown, US milled. They're kind of small batch yarns, and this time she sent a brand new to me yarn base. It's called Valkyrie. It's half Cormo wool and half alpaca from Valhalla Yarns in Woodside, California. She sent 2 colorways. They are both 2 ounces of fingering weight yarn, and they have 215 yards. This is Cumulus, which is a nice gray, and lupine, not lupin like the wolf, lupine like the flower, in this gorgeous purple. It's showing a little redder on screen than it is. It is a really nice blurple in real life. It's still not really reading. Nope, it's just going to read a little bit red. So this was our April kit. She sent some other nice items as she does, including this amazing soap, goat milk soap from Nightingale Farms. You can see that the package is empty because I've actually already used it in lavender lemongrass. It is wonderful. Really, really nice. I'll put a link if you want to go check out their website, and of course a link to Brooke's website if you want to check her yarns out. They are, both of these have been naturally dyed, meaning like herbs, plants kind of dyed. This one has also had some synthetic dyes added to it to bump the purple up a little bit, I believe. Anyway, I do have a couple patterns in mind for this, but I also had one skein that was sent to me from Dennis and Jeff, the yarn guys, as a possible sample yarn that's half Cormo, half Angora Bunny, and is really soft and squishy. So I was also thinking, and this is about 200 yards of fingering weight, so I have just over 600 yards here. I'm thinking this may be a 3-color cowl by Joji Locatelli. Might be a candidate for that because these are all colors I love, and if I put the white, like put the purple there, that white is getting so blown out. I think I could still wear it with the white in it next to me. So yeah, really love these. Can't wait to work with these. They are super soft, super bouncy, usual gorgeous stuff that I expect from Brooke. Okay, so that's knitting. And I also will say for spinning, super short, I do not have anything to show you guys. I am still working on the natural colored white Cormo wool roving that I have. I'm about halfway through the second 2 ounces, so like 3 ounces basically of singles spun. Not really going to get any progress on that happening anytime soon, so stay tuned. Probably in June we'll see some spinning back again. Okay, books. I have one book which I also forgot to talk about last week, but did finish, or 2 weeks ago, but did finish that up. Started and finished it based on a recommendation from Michelle Bendy-Stitchy called The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. And I'm going to be honest that I picked this because the author's last name begins with Y, and it fulfilled one of the year-long reading prompts in School of Magical Stitches. And I needed a Y to fill in something on that list. So this book, I think Michelle did a great job of her synopsis. It's young adult. It's basically a day in the life of these 2 young people who are sort of star-crossed lovers. There's no reason why they should meet, but they do. And they both are kind of having some come to terms not only with growing pains, but also with some cultural family things. The young woman who's in the book is an illegal immigrant. Her parents had brought her here illegally, and they've been found out, and even though she's basically grown up since the age of 8 here in the United States, they're going to be deported back to Jamaica. She's very upset. She's very bitter. She's angry with her father for screwing up, is how she perceives it. And she's trying to figure out anything that will kind of put a stay order on so that they can stay here in the U.S. and that she can graduate from high school and go to college. The other character, the young man, is he's a Korean American. His parents are both immigrants. They came over and just want the best for their kids, but they are, like many newly arrived immigrants, while they're very, very proud of their adopted country of America, they also still hold on to a lot of the traditions from where they grew up in Korea. So this young man, again, has been raised in America and is very American, but he has all this sort of cultural stuff tugging at him about being a respectful son and doing what he's told to do. So these two young people meet, and through a series of events wind up spending most of the day together. And it is a love story. It's also a story about friendship, and it's a story about not only romantic love, but familial love and what you do for your family. And I'm going to paraphrase this, but basically Michelle said something to the effect of, she got completely invested with these characters, and then the book just ripped her heart out, and then it redeemed itself at the end. I think that's a pretty good summarization of this book's plot. I don't want to give too much away because, we all would love to have our happy endings, but not always do happy endings work out the way that we think that they're going to. So, a good book. I don't think I loved it as much as Michelle did. I think it's also being made into a movie, if I'm not mistaken, that's either just come out or going to come out for the summer. It's a light read on the surface, but there is also a lot going on in it. The author herself is actually, I believe, an immigrant, and so I think she has a good perspective on what it's like to kind of be a part of a culture, but also be a part of another culture and try to find a balance point in your life to have all those things live happily, which is hard. I mean, it's hard sometimes even just in one culture to have things live happily. So anyway, I give it a solid 4 stars. It's a very character-driven book, so there's much less sort of action and things going on with it. I'll put a link to that below, as I always do, to Goodreads. So if you think you might like it, give it a shot, and you can find it there with other book synopsis and reviews. Right now, I am currently reading, and I'm not really going to get into them because I'm not super far along in either of them. I'm reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire for School of Magical Stitches, and I am reading Joust by Mercedes Lackey, courtesy of a book recommendation from Kim Hollenbeck, who's also the Spartan Stitcher, depending on whether you find her on YouTube or Instagram and Facebook, which I'm enjoying very much. It is high fantasy. It's about a dragon rider. So thank you for that recommendation, Kim. I will report on those once I've actually finished reading them and have more to say. All right, let's talk cross stitch. So what I'm going to do right now, just making sure I haven't missed anything else on the table. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to insert some clips from some School of Magical Stitches homework so that you guys can see what I worked on from my last video up until the last few days. So I'm going to insert those right now here, and then I will come back and talk to you a little bit more about the last few days, what I've been working on. Hello everyone, today is Monday, April 29th, and this is the first of my vlog clips that I'm doing in the hopes that I can be a little bit better organized and not repeat any of the things that I've worked on. So this is a stitching shelf, artwork by Amy Stewart and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I pulled this out this weekend to work on for an ultimate challenge project for the School of Magical Stitches and Literature, and I wound up putting in 1,000 stitches in this section right here. So that leaves me with these 400 stitches left to do to be at the halfway mark of the page in order to meet my goal for the month of May, which as of today has not started yet. So that's where I am on that. I love this bright green color of this ivy. And this little bit right here is starting to get me into the vignette that is the very first lady who's sitting and stitching. So that's all on this for now. You'll see it back out in March, and I'll move you on to Monday's stitching once I get that done. Talk to you later. Hello, everyone. This is April 30th, and I wanted to show you the progress I made last night and yesterday on my Christmas tea project. This is for the Little Owl challenge prompt in School of Magical Stitches, which was to stitch on the project in our WIP album that was the smallest by stitch count. And so I wound up with Christmas tea. I didn't have very much of this done going in. I had some of the red in the border here, and I had the body of the mouse, this mouse, done, but really nothing else. I think maybe one leaf. So I put in just under 1,400 stitches on this yesterday. So I did all of this holly here, the bottom half of the Santa mouse, her teapot, and I started on this massive teacup, which is taking forever. But this is done on a 32 count Ren linen from Picture This Plus. All of the floss, with the exception of the green, is from Color and Cotton hand-dyed floss, and the green is Otter Creek in Gentle Arts. So this is where I am today. I will get started on this again after work. I know I'm not going to be able to get this completely done, and certainly not fully finished with the hours I have in the day today. And since I don't have a time turner, I'm just going to get done as much as I can get done, and that'll be that. And then my plan is to try to maybe finish this up in May, just to claim a credit for it, since I am through the halfway point of it at this stage, I think. Pretty close anyway. So that's it. I will be back to show you what I got done on this later today in another short blog clip. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey everyone, good evening. It is the 30th of April, and I wanted to do a quick update on my Christmas tea piece. I am calling it. I have put a ton of stitches into this in the last 2 days. I didn't think I was going to be able to get it done, and I know I'm really close and technically could stay up till midnight here in Mountain Time, or 1 o'clock I guess, and get it finished, but I just don't have that in me. I know from past experience that I am no good late at night, and I'd rather not have to fully finish it, and then rip everything out because I found a mistake. So at this point, this is where we stand. I have stitched 2,400 stitches total in this piece over 2 days, which is a lot of stitching, and my eyes and my stitching finger know it. So this is where I'm calling this project. Still got 24 points for my house in Magical Stitches, and I know for sure I'll be able to finish this one up in May, which starts tomorrow. Not participating in Mania, but will be anxiously looking forward to everybody's videos as they work through their kitted up projects or their whips, and enjoyed seeing all of the videos to this point about people's plans. So we'll return you back to the regular video when we'll be kicking off some vlogging for May projects. Hello everybody, today is May 1st, so happy May Day. I am checking in for a quick vlog post on what I am working on today. If you are following the Magical Stitches group, you know that the Quidditch matches kicked off today. So we've got time to work on a project for days 1 through 3 for the first Quidditch match. I did not participate in the craziness that was stitched on the 1,000 yellow stitches at dark o'clock in the morning here. So I'm just working on projects and trying to meet some personal goals right now. So I pulled out a stitching shelf because I really wanted to get my May stitches in on that. My goal for May was 2,400 stitches, which is this section right here. And I got a lot of that done in April, but I finished off the last 400 stitches here today. So I am officially done with my May goals, and I won't be putting this one away My plan is to just keep working on it when I work on it and hopefully get some more progress in on it, and then see if I can get this page, which is page 4, finished in June. But that's where I am on this right now, and I think I'm going to try to pick up my Christmas tea project that you saw from yesterday and get that finished. Be kind of nice to have 2 goals checked off here at the beginning of the month. So I'm going to work on that probably till it's finished, and I will show you my progress on that over the next couple of days. So talk to you later. Bye. Hello everyone, it's Anne again, and it is now May the 2nd, and I wanted to do a quick update to show you my progress on Christmas tea, which I have finished. I just had some white to put in here. I needed to finish the mouse faces and the top part of his coat, and a couple of snowflakes, I think, is what was missing on this. So I went ahead and added those. That wound up being about 254 stitches that needed to go into this. So this is done, which I am very happy about. This is a March. I have no idea where that came from. It is a Stitch 9 project. So I am down to 3 of my 9 to stitch this year, which also I'm very happy about. This is worked on a 32 count linen from Picture This Plus. The colorway is Wren. The floss is pretty much all color and cotton. The only thing that's not is the green of the holly leaves, which is Gentle Arts Otter Creek. So that is where this is right now, a done deal, and I just have to decide what else to work on tonight. Stargazer will be out this weekend, and so I'll probably do another update once it is I pick a project for this evening. So talk to you guys later. Okay, so we're back. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing my progress on all of those things. So I wanted to catch you up with a few other minor bits and bobs that I have been working on. The first was for some extra credit in our current year 4. That was to work on a project that we hadn't worked on for 6 months. So I actually got through all of my projects last year. I didn't have anything that I haven't worked on in longer than 6 months. So I just went back to the thing that has not been worked on for the longest time. And that was this Gold Collection Petites Christmas Morning Pets, because this is my Lizzie and my Emma. And honestly, they would be happy to do this kind of snuggling with each other. Not so much when Lizzie was a puppy, because she was a little bit boisterous, but now that she's a little bit more mature, this is Emma's idea of a good time, is to have a snuggle with a warm puppy. So I really had very, very little started on it. And I put 500 stitches in it for the prompt. I had, I think, like the lightest gray that you see right there. I think it was a total of maybe 15 stitches. So I worked on this, got 500 stitches put in it. This is the cat. This is one of the cat ears and its little face, and then the rest of its body. This is one of the paws that's curled down here. Started on that, and there's the ears. So it doesn't really look like much, and I don't think it will until the back stitching goes in. But I have put some stitches in on it and checked off that extra credit project, so that's good. It was an excuse to haul this one out and put some stitches in it, and it definitely needed some love because it didn't have very many stitches in it. So I worked on that. And then the other project that I've been focusing on, I spent the weekend working on it as well as last night, is my Stargazer from Mirabilia. And I went through and I tried to figure out about how much more stitching I had to do, and it was a lot. This piece is very deceptive because you feel like you should be closer, and then you're like, wow, the skirt just keeps going. However, here is where she is currently. I am beading her skirt as I go. I have the beads done up here in her bodice neckline. I don't know if it's a separate necklace or if it's beaded bodice, doesn't really matter. Anyway, I can put this on a large Q-snap and basically snap it there and have it be big enough that I can work on it without crushing any of these beads. So I'm just beading the skirt as I go because I'm finding that that's helpful for me. So this time I basically just had the dark overskirt, this part of her jacket, done to there without the beads. So I did all of this, which gets me, it's not quite finished, but almost. Like I just have the little curve to do right there. I just ran out of thread. So when I pick it back up and I need that color again, I'll finish that there. And I need to bead down to that point. And then I started working down. My goal was to basically get the skirt even with where the jacket cuts off. And I'm pretty close there as well. There's a little bit missing in there. Then the remainder of the skirt that comes down to about here, I think if I divide it into two sections and I do like from there to there and there back, in two long stitching sessions, I will have that done. And then I can come back in and I'll need to do all the beads in the sky because I haven't done any of those. If you saw Jessie Marie's or if you've seen Sarah over at Stitchin' Mommy, you know that the sky has tons of sparkly beads in it, and I haven't done any of those. So there she is in her current state. I'm really pleased with how much work I got done on her. Like I actually feel like I'm making progress, but the skirt is just so big. It's one of those that keeps going and going and going and going. So it's not like you feel like, oh, I just have the skirt to do, but then, you know, that was 1,800 stitches I put in it, and I think I have still about 5,500 left to go on that. Ish. I didn't count specifically every stitch, but I did sort of a generic thing. I want to talk really briefly about some stash that I got in the mail. I had been looking for this pattern for quite a while, and I found it on Etsy. It's an older Plum Street sampler called Cinnamon Stars. No, I don't have a specific time frame on when I would start it, but I have it. When I found it. And I also found this pattern, which I hadn't seen before, but I really like. It's a Rosewood Manor called Friendship Quilt. And lots of black work and some color, which is, I liked that combination of it. And I'm not sure if I would do the whole thing, but I do really like this friendship basket in the middle, and I could see totally doing, I mean, you could divide this up and do it into 3 smalls. I think that would be kind of pretty. You could even divide this down further, like if you wanted to do like a scissor fob. I think you could use some of those motifs to do that. And again, no specific time frame to start this or work on this. I just saw it and I liked it, and it was coming from the same Etsy store, so I went ahead and got it. Then, because I also, this is I think the 3rd or 4th time I've done Stitch from Stash. And I was talking to Kim about this. I think because I'm on this no starts kick, I'm apparently okay with buying stuff. I don't normally buy things, but I'm buying things. So my Stitch from Stash budget is just, I don't think I'm going to dig myself out of this hole by the end of June. I think I'm $130 in the hole, something like that. I'd have to double check. I have a couple of small finishes, but to add, like to take that total down, but it's still, I don't think it's going back to the black before the end of this year. If it does, I'll be very surprised. Anyway, I decided to pick up, I've been working on all of those Brenda Gervais wordplay, and I'm subbing in Color and Cotton. I've also got several Christmassy things. You saw my finished Christmas tea. I'm working on another Christmas piece, and I've been kind of running low on some reds and blues. So I popped myself over to Victorian Motto Sampler Shop to look at their America the Beautiful thread pack, and I wound up picking that up. Oops, wait a minute. Here, I got some stuff mixed in. because it has a lot of reds and blues in it. And they're all kind of prim. Let's do this a little more organized. There's a set of blues. And I'm gonna probably use one of these for the pants on Santa in the one other Christmas piece I'm working on, the Snow for Christmas. It comes with 2 golds and a white. This is showing way brighter than it actually is in real life. Let's see if I have something I can put it on. There we go. That's a little bit better. And then I got, in that same pack, it also came with a whole whack of reds, which is really what I was looking for. Like, I think this red would be great for some Christmassy stuff. This one's maybe a little bright, but I don't know, holly berries or something. Anyway, lots to choose from there, and yeah, so I picked those up. And then while I was noodling around on the Nancy's site, she also had her, I think it's Bewitched color pack listing, and that was all of these gorgeous kind of grays and neutrals. This one on the end is called Cauldron Bubble, and it actually is a freebie. So this came just with my shipment, just as a thank you. But then all of these other pretty neutrals, and I have several things that I know already these are going to be useful for. A lot of the Brenda Gervais summer ones have like herb garden things in it. This one would be great for that. It has a little bit of variegation to it. So I got that pack as well. And then totally separately, my 3 skein club from Color and Cotton came that had these great neutrals in it. Angela obviously knew I was going to need to stitch a big sheep, and I'm almost out of the lamb's wool, fresh wool that I had from her. For the teacup that I finished in Christmas tea, I used fresh wool. So these 3 were in my primitive Floss of the Month Club. They are Midnight, Winter Prairie, and Wild Oats. So lots of good new neutrals. So that was my haul for that. So that is it for right now. The plans that I do know I have, which I will share with you for stitching, I'm going to take my Village of Hawk Run Hollow with me. It's something I can stitch on in most lights. I don't, you know, it's on 22 count. It's not anything that I need magnifiers or anything for. It's got a limited color palette, and yeah, I can work on it in hand. So I'm going to take that and see where I get on the blocks. Yeah, just see what I have time for. You know, you never know when you travel. If we have 2 or 3 days that it rains, which happens in Scotland, we may be inside quite a bit. I may get a lot done. It may be gorgeous and sunny every day, and we may be outside the whole time. I just don't know. So that's what I'm going to take with me. I am just going to close here with just a really brief statement or thought for the day. If you're in the School of Magical Stitches and Literature, you know that there's been some upheaval and some just stuff going on in the group, and it doesn't really have anything to do with stitching. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm not going to even like discuss what's been going on. If you're in the group and you've been following it and you like the kind of drama, great, you know, watch the videos, follow up, whatever you need to do. If you've left the group because you're upset, I totally respect your decision. If you stay in the group because you're not totally upset, I also respect that decision. Here's the thing for me. Just in general, I think that there is enough unpleasantness and unkindness and stress and hysteria out in the world today. And I don't think that a hobby needs to involve any of that. And I know sometimes things happen and people disagree, and stuff comes up and, you know, people have opinions about things. That's what makes it makes this world a great place, that we all have different thoughts about things and we have different opinions about things. And I completely respect your right to your opinion. But that also means you have to respect the right for me to have an opinion as well. So I'm not going to even discuss what my opinions are. Suffice to say, for me, I want my hobby to be relaxing, drama-free, crisis-free. I mean, as much as you can within the bounds of, like, I have to frog the thing. And that for me is like a deciding factor in whether I want to do something or don't want to do something. You know, we all have to go to the dentist and have root canals. We all have to go deal with a difficult person at work. We all have to deal with a difficult person in other parts of our lives, or we lock ourselves out of our house. Those are all just things about daily life that happen, and, you know, they're stressful and they make you cranky, and I totally get all of that. I don't need to have any of that in something that is supposed to be a relaxation moment for me. If I want to have stress and stuff in the rest of my life, I can go off and do that just by living a normal life and having stuff occur. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think everybody has to make a decision for themselves. For me, I'm not somebody who, like, jumps in and out of things. I tend to, you know, if I commit to something, I want to stick with it. I think it's really great that I'm going to be gone for like the next 10 days and kind of out of the internet loop. And I think it will be a good thing for everybody to take a deep breath and have some calming moments. You know, Jessie Marie says it best: be kind. You don't have to like what someone says. You don't have to agree with them. You can respectfully disagree with things. But you can also do it in a kind way that is not snarky, that is not belittling, that is not stirring the pot any further. So I will leave you all with that thought. I hope everybody has a great couple of weeks until I talk to you again, which will be the end of May. I will have some video clips, hopefully, and some photos to show you of some gorgeous parts of the world that I'm very excited about seeing. And yeah, I'm just going to close with that Jessie Marie thought. Be kind, y'all. Take care. Bye for now.